I'm gay! I've known something was different ever since I was about 7 years old. My parents and I were watching the movie 300, and the sight of all the handsome men who barely covered their bodies kinda excited me. It was like that for many more years to come. I started to be more interested in girly things, like playing with dolls or painting my nails. I even snuck into my parents' room when they were not there and wore my mother's dress. I knew I was different from other boys, and a part of me at the time hated myself for that. To make matters worse, my own parents were the most homophobic people I know. They would insult gay people they'd see in the street or get angry over gay content displayed on the TV. I really struggled with trying to figure out what was happening inside me, what it was that made me different. But when I started to figure out what it was, instead of being happy, I became more and more anxious. The fact that my parents hated gay people took such a huge toll on me. I started failing, losing weight, and even isolating myself from the world. I tried to distract myself as much as I could from my parents. I couldn't even pretend to love them because how could I love people who hated me? When I started high school, everything became worse. The kids at school instantly noticed that I was different, so they distanced themselves from me just because I didn't like football or couldn't recall any car model by head. One boy even began to bully me. He would call me horrible names and beat me up on a daily basis. I had bruises both physically and emotionally. I went into a deep state of depression and even neglected to go to school. The day I did, though, I met a guy called James. His family had moved from Scotland, and he had just enrolled in our school. He had short, red curly hair, emerald green eyes, and freckles that only highlighted on his handsomeness. I was head over heels in love. Jake and I became the best of friends. We were inseparable. He boosted my self-confidence on a daily basis with his compliments and motivational talks. And because of him, I decided it was time for me to come out of the closet. I quickly learned that that was a bad idea. Man, was I dumb. Originally, I had planned to keep my sexuality hidden until I was old enough to get my own place, so if my parents wanted nothing to do with me, I would be set anyway. Well, that plan went straight into the garbage because I was so confident that I decided the best way to tell them was to burst into my parents' room and assert my dominance by yelling, "Mom, Dad, I'm gay." My parents were petrified. I regretted everything I said as I watched my dad pick up his belt and begin to whip me with it all over my body. I was in pure agony. All my mom did was cry while my dad whipped me until my bruises had bruises. I begged him to stop, and when I began to bleed, he looked worried. I looked at him, tears in my eyes, and drifted off into unconsciousness. I woke a few days later in a hospital to my mother sitting on a chair beside me. I learned that my dad was arrested, but during his arrest, he kept shouting, "I refuse to have for a son." The neighbors heard what he said, and unfortunately, they happened to be my schoolmates as well. So news traveled fast, and soon everyone in school knew. When I returned, people would start whispering to each other, which made me incredibly insecure. Then I heard a familiar voice. "Hey there, black boy." I turned my head to see Jake with a huge smile. He walked towards me and pulled me in for a kiss. In this very instant, I realized that I had never felt more happy. I just started college, and Jake and I have been dating for 3 years now. He is very amazing and loving towards me. My father has been released from jail and has tried to call me several times, but I don't want to talk to him right now. I'm starting a new chapter in my life with my handsome knight in shining armor by my side. This experience has taught me that it does get better in the end.